Hi, everybody. I am Hillary of tarotbyhillary.com, and I'm a professional tarot reader. And I'm going to need to put my headphones in because there's a little bit of an echo going on. So give me 1 second. I left my headphones in the other room. I will be right back. All right. So I'm still hearing a little bit of an echo, which is annoying because I didn't have this problem last week. All right. Let me see if I can change the settings. And we're just going to do the external mic. That's not working either. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to roll with this, and I think I'll just put the sound through my headphones, but listen to the headphones so that I can actually hear myself think. Can everybody hear me, see me? Please go ahead and pop that into the chat so I know that you can see me, hear me, and that we don't have any audio or visual issues before we get started with the free workshop, which is all about tarot myth busting. So if you're just joining me now, my name is Hillary. My website is tarotbyhillary.com, as you can see there. And I am a professional tarot reader specializing in connecting you with your own intuition, whether you think you have it or not. Believe me, you have it. Everyone has intuition. So I demystify mystical. That's my speciality. And tonight we are going to be talking about tarot myth busting. So this is a weekly show that I've been doing for the past, goodness, I think it's the third week now. It might be the fourth week now. So I do it every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it usually runs for about an hour, but if we finish off earlier than that, I will definitely let you know and be on your merry way. So first of all, happy Friday the 13th. I hope that your Friday the 13th was more lucky than unlucky, more spectacular than not. Some people go into Friday the 13th thinking, oh, it's going to be awful, it's going to be a very unlucky day, let me not cross underneath ladders or cross paths with the black cat. I've always found Friday the 13th and the number 13 to be very lucky and auspicious. So for me, honestly, it's about attitude and walking into a situation with a positive attitude or a positive outlook. Because if you expect the negative, you're definitely going to find negative things. But if you are more positive and expecting the positive, you'll probably be able to find positives as well. So before we start, I want to let you guys know if you have any questions that come up, especially if you have tarot myths that you would like me to bust in this episode, please go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll get to them by the end of the session, if not before that. Now, there might be a happy coincidence here where you have a tarot myth and I happen to cover it. So if that's the case, I'll take a look and make sure that I answer all of your questions. Hi, so Justina is coming in and she is asking, hold on, do you do free one card draws? Justina, yes, I do. And if you have some time at the end of the session, I'll go ahead and do that. I do have the Mystic Mondays Tarot um, by my side tonight. So if we do have time at the end of the session, absolutely, I'll pull a one card reading for you. But ultimately, this show is about educating people in tarot. It's not specifically for drive-by readings, or what I like to call drive-by readings. I certainly advertise that when I am going to do them, or if it's just a drive-by session. But if you have time at the end of it, I'll go ahead and pull a card for each question. So hang tight. Thank you for asking. All right, let me put my info back up again here. So that's me. So I did want to talk about the big three, or the main three myths that I included as a little teaser preview for this episode, which is about tarot reading myths or tarot myths. So I will go through those three one by one, and I'm going to have my answer to them. I'm sure that a lot of these tarot myths, were based in truth at one part or another, one point or another. But as time has gone on, it hasn't been as applicable, especially the third one about wrapping the cards in silk. I have a theory as to why that came about, but it's kind of dying out a little bit, but I'll tell you the reason why. So let's get started, shall we? Again, just joining me live now. If you have any questions that come up, feel free to drop them in the chat as we go on, and I will answer them at the end of the Q&A portion. So I'm going to be creating the agenda a little bit on the fly here, because I forgot to do it beforehand, but thanks. Myth number one. So let's start with myth number one. A tarot deck must be bought for you. So a tarot deck has to be bought for you, gifted for you. Someone has to hand you a tarot deck in order for it to work. I've also heard a variation on this, which is a tarot deck has to be stolen, like as in shoplifted, in order for it to work for you. So, yeah, I mean, I love audience participation, but let's talk about this, because I think that's incredibly bad karma. Not about the gifted part, that's fine. You can accept a gift, but to shoplift it, and I've actually seen a lot of new age shops have this problem where they're given, they have signs up. Let me just put these headphones away since I'm not using them. I need to keep the audio away from me in order to concentrate. I've seen so many new age shops with these big signs saying, like, we have cameras, we have, like, it's bad karma to shoplift, and it's usually situated right near the tarot decks. And to me, that just seems incredibly odd and not in keeping with, I guess, the tenets of, like, what a new age store would purport. You know, like if you go into a new age store and steal your tarot deck, do you really think that tarot deck is going to give you good readings? I don't think so. I mean, it might give you good readings, but like it would have a lot of bad karma associated with it. So like, this is a no-no. And I'm going to shout out to, like, you know, new age shops. Like, go in and use the salespeople there and say, I'm buying my first tarot deck, but I don't know what to choose, or I don't know what the best deck is going to be for me. Can you help me? That's a way to combat this myth, because I think it's a total myth that you have to be given your deck or you have to shoplift your deck. And apparently I was talking with another person this morning about it, and I I've never heard about the shoplifting thing, but it's like a real thing. So a tarot deck has to be bought for you or you have to steal it. Woe bad karma there. So the answer is, if this were true, I wouldn't have as many tarot decks than I do. Um, I think at last count I must have at least over 60. And if you think that's a lot of decks, I know people that have over 200. So, and that's an excuse for me to buy more tarot decks because I figure, oh, I'm not that bad because I only have 60. Yeah, that's still a lot of tarot decks. um, and if this myth was true, um, none of them would be able to work for me, right? Because I've bought pretty much all of them, or I've been gifted them. So there's a couple of decks that I've been gifted by people that either it didn't connect with them, or they know that I'm a tarot reader and would appreciate the deck. But yes, you can buy your own tarot decks. Please do buy your own tarot deck. And if you want to go back to one of the previous episodes, I talked a little bit about working with your tarot deck, how to connect with your tarot deck, and I gave a few recommendations if you are a tarot beginner, what to look out for, which deck might work for you better than others, and also a way to choose your tarot deck. So if you haven't already watched that episode, go back and watch that episode. I think it would be really, really helpful for you guys. So you can find it right here on my Facebook page in the video section. I've also uploaded it onto YouTube on my YouTube channel. I believe it's Hillary_Tarot on YouTube. But either way, it's the same video with the same information. So go there, but go there and then go out and buy your tarot deck because you absolutely can. This myth is busted. All right, for the next myth, and we are following the structure from the advertisement or the description here. So myth number 2, does the death card really mean death? Yeah, we're going there. So, does the death card in the tarot really mean death? The short answer, is sometimes, but usually not. So the death card can mean physical death, the actual death of a person. But more often than not, it's the end of a situation or transformation than literal death. And furthermore, I have seen death in the cards before, someone going to die, about to pass. And I have not seen that in the death card. I've seen it in other cards or in a combination of other cards that had personal significance to me. So if that message is there, it's going to come through even if you took the death card out of the tarot deck. Now, I find it very interesting. The tarot usually give you the message that you need to hear, no matter if it's just the major arcana, that you're a major arcana only deck, or you're using all 78 cards, or you cherry picked a few cards out of the deck. The message still seems to come through. So this myth is a little bit of yes, a little bit of no. If we were talking in Mythbusters language, it would be plausible, I guess, when they do the stamps being busted or not. This is plausible, but more often than not, it means transformation or the ending of a situation or having to end something in order to transform it into something new. So, like the Semisonic song, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. I that would think of the Ten of Swords card, and I think of that when I think of the Death card. So if everyone's with me so far, please give me a yeah in the chat, and we'll continue on to the next tarot myth. going to preface this with a dot dot here. You must wrap your cards in silk and charge them and bathe them in the light of a full blood moon in order for them to work for you. Okay, so let's unpack this one. Now, I said that kind of flippantly, gee, that sounds like a lot of work, because it does sound like a lot of work. But at the beginning of this episode, I said I feel like this has a little bit of the roots in truth, because this is all about what works for you and how you would like to store your tarot cards. And actually, it's interesting that I'm tackling this myth, because as I just showed you before, I showed you the Mystic Mondays tarot, and Justina asked if I was doing readings tonight, which I can do. Just wait until the end, and we'll definitely do that. But as you saw before, let me go ahead and put these up again. Does that like scrap to you? Mm-hmm. No, it is in the box. So it has a very nice box. Look at that. Yeah. Look at the iridescence. I think it's a pretty box. Look at that. Nice and bright and shiny, right? Okay. So if you'd like to, sorry, just turned up the volume all the way there. If you'd like to wrap your cards in silk, or if you'd like to put your cards in like a wooden engraved box, or if you'd like to put them in the original packaging, that's completely up to you. You've got my permission to do it. So anytime the musts or the shoulds come up, it's sure to be rooted in a myth or a way that someone has always done something. And here's the real reason I think that people say to wrap cards in silk. So cardboard boxes are flimsy. That's the bottom line there. And I really wish I had brought one of my other kind of more flimsy card decks. Actually, you know what? Hold that thought. Let me go grab one, because I think I have one in reach right now to show you the difference between a well-made package and a not so well-made package. So bear with me a second. Let's see if I can find it. New. I have it. Okay. So this is not the best example, because it's one of my friend's decks, but it is the way it is. Okay. So I've already taken these cards out of the cardboard box, because this is what they were stored in. So this is the Triple Goddess Tarot by Jamie Elford, and the artist is Franco Rigoli. And Jamie is a dear friend of mine. She's amazing. She's actually teaching with me at the Card Speakers Conference in St. Louis the first weekend in November. So make sure to get your tickets ahead of time, because I don't think we'll be selling them at the door. So this is the cardboard box of the Triple Goddess Tarot. So this is what the original box was for these cards. And notice how, see the edges? And this is just simple wear and tear. Even if this was, even in delivery, this might happen. So this is just, what it was stored in. So if this gets nicked and this gets nicked, the cards on the inside and the card edges could also be affected by being stored in this little flimsy cardboard box. So what most people do is they take out the cards and find a little storage bag. They might make their own, they might knit or crochet their own tarot bag, might sew it up with a sewing machine or purchase it. One of my friends that's a professional reader stores her decks in Crown Royal bags, different colors, and it fits a tarot deck perfectly. So here's the difference between this and this. This is solid. This is good packaging here, and this is actually made by Chronicle Books. So well done, Chronicle. So I don't need to go and take these cards out of this box because they're protected in this box. So I don't need to put it in a silk bag because I feel like this is a solid box. I don't have to go and make that step of taking it out of here and putting it in a safer place or a safer storage container. So I believe that's the root of why people say wrap your cards in silk. And does anyone have silk on hand, really? I don't think so. I think silk is kind of hard to come by. Um, so as the packaging changes and gets better for tarot decks, I feel like this particular myth is going to phase out a little bit. So there has been some really great packaging for tarot decks and for tarot deck in the companion book. So this myth might get phased out maybe in a year's time, maybe longer, maybe shorter. So you don't have to wrap your cards in silk. You can use the original packaging if you see fit. If you really feel the need to put it in a separate silk cloth, bag, crochet, make your own, feel free. Now, the second part of that, bathing in the light of a full-blood moon, doing all this, I mean, yes, that is a great way to cleanse and charge cards. So, for example, I have a whole bunch of tarot decks on my windowsill, ready to receive the light of the full moon tomorrow night, but its effects can be felt 3 days before the day of the full or new moon and 3 days after. So you better believe I've got my tarot decks out, charging and getting the light of that full moon. You can also do that on a new moon. Actually, you can do that anytime you want to, really. So you don't have to wrap your cards in silk, especially as the packaging gets better for tarot decks. Now, the fourth one that I did include that I've heard before, pardon my typing. So the fourth myth is you have to be psychic to read tarot. AKA, do you have to be psychic to read tarot? And the answer there is no. You don't have to be psychic. In fact, I know a great many tarot readers that wouldn't consider themselves psychic and wouldn't consider themselves intuitive readers or intuitive tarot readers. They're simply using the structure of the tarot deck as a form of divination, and using those guidelines and prescribed meanings for each card to give a reading. So they would not consider themselves psychic. As for me, I think that everyone has intuition, and I think tarot is one of many tools that you can use to access your intuition. So, no, you don't have to be psychic to read the tarot or to use the tarot. And in fact, some people use tarot as just a brainstorming device. They don't necessarily use it as a divination system. What I find to be really interesting about this myth is that quite a few tarot readers don't consider themselves to be psychic, and yet they have given very psychic readings. And I think it's more about the label psychic that seems to either turn people off or cause them to re-embrace the term, because it's been such a term fraught with negative connotations and ascribed to almost charlatanism as well. And there's an entire book on using tarot psychically called Psychic Tarot, and it's by Nancy Antonucci. And I actually picked up that book, I believe, in 2011 when I attended the San Francisco Bay Area Tarot Symposium, BATS for short. And I met Nancy and I picked up her book because of something that she said in a little presentation during the conference. So I will pop my interview with Nancy into chat a little bit later on or after this video is concluded, so you can go ahead and check that out. But yeah, I think it's more about being comfortable with the term psychic and what does psychic actually mean to you. But no, I don't believe you have to be psychic to read tarot. However, as you use tarot cards, you might want to be prepared to become more intuitive because as you use divination tools, it tends to awaken your intuition. And so you start getting messages more and more, sometimes without the cards, which is a very interesting side effect to reading tarot. So tarot boils down to reading really pictures or stories on cards and then relating them to your life. So that's an oversimplified version of how tarot cards work, but that is tarot in a nutshell. That's how I consider or boil down tarot to its essence. It's really just reading pictures or stories on the cards and then relating them to your life. So I want to stop right here because this is all the tarot myths that I've been getting from people in the last week or so when I first announced that this was going to be the topic for this week. So if people have any questions related to the tarot, related to psychic readings, please go ahead and put them in the chat and I will get to them. I wanted to tackle something that actually my friend and fellow witch asked me this morning, which is not a tarot question or a tarot myth, but more like an astrological myth, or there's been a lot of misinformation going on. And we tackled this again in a previous episode, so not the episode last week, but the episode before it, where we talked about the new moon and how to work with the new moon and full moon to manifest. And so I just wanted to add to that new moon, full moon energy. So very quickly, I'm going to write down what she said, and I'm going to not name her name for the use of privacy. So she said, I have like a witch 101 question that I have to ask you. I've been seeing a lot of internet witch advice being like, it's the full harvest moon, time to harvest what you've been working towards and really manifest. And other people being like, use that full moon to get rid of crap you don't need. So which one is it? And my answer to her was, traditionally, the full moon is for releasing, but that's full moon to new moon. New moon to full is for bringing things towards you. And I think there might be confusion going on between the autumn equinox, which is about harvest, and the harvest moon. And so she said, I thought I was going crazy. Damn internet witches. So that's the problem with the internet. So not always the right information or the most thought out information is being circulated. So it makes you question your own knowledge or what you think you already thought as basic information. So I just wanted to recap that information about that I gave you like 2 weeks ago for working with new moon energy. I also talked a little bit about the full moon as well. So go ahead and check out that episode for more information and um, so that you can manifest the shit that you want in your life. But we are under influence of a full moon right now. So full moons are really about evaluating the things that you wanted to begin on the new moon and seeing which goals are no longer aligned with what you want and releasing those goals or releasing any circumstances around that particular goal setting that no longer serves you, like um, releasing situations that no longer serve you, releasing maybe toxic people in your life that no longer serve you, or the relationship has run its course and you've learned all that you can from that relationship. So that is what the full moon is asking us to do right now is release. It's also a full moon in Pisces. So full moon in Pisces, you might find that your intuition is really on lock right now. So don't really question yourself as much with regard to like your intuition. Like if it smells, if it smells like a duck, walks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's a duck. So honor and trust your intuition at this time as well. So that's all I've got right now. We're about half an hour into the workshop, and let's see if people have any questions. So let's go with Q&A time. I am here to aid your cues. Sorry, I like to sing a lot. Let me also make sure that I'm seeing everybody's info. I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Facebook as well to make sure that we're all hunky-dory with recordings and making sure that this is still live. So go ahead and drop any questions that you have right now. And I will answer them. By the way, this is questions and answers related to tarot reading myths. This is not reading time. I will put up a different scroller when it is time for one question, one card readings. Okay? Okay. Just double check. Things are a little bit slow loading. Have you guys noticed that it was kind of a really weird, crazy day? It was okay for like the beginning part of the day, and then as the day waned on, it just became a little bit cuckoo. All right. Just making sure that I have not missed anything. No, I have not missed anything. So I'm going to give it a few more moments. If there's any tarot myths for me to bust, please feel free to put that in the chat section and I will bust them. And I'm trying to think of if I have any others right now. No? No, I'm not seeing any other things that I should be including right now. Let me just pull up my notes though as we're in here so I can put those two links, as I said before, that I was going to do the link to the interview with Nancy Antonucci, author of Psychic Tarot, and also a link, an article that I made about how tarot works, or how does tarot work. and I'm here to answer those questions. No, no. All right. So let me share this link with you guys. This is how tarot cards work, or how I think tarot cards work. So that link is right in there for you to peruse at your own leisure. And then the second link that I'm going to post here is the interview with Nancy Antonucci, author of Psychic Tarot. I would really recommend you check out that book. It was really a revelation for me, and it actually made me really evaluate what the word psychic means to me and also embrace that label for myself, because I believe that psychic is simply practiced intuition. So while I believe that everyone has intuition, I don't believe that everyone is psychic, because psychic to me is practiced intuition. So I believe that I am psychic because I do this work every day. So I'm constantly honing my intuition, listening to my intuition, taking classes on psychic development, all of that stuff. But I do believe everyone has intuition. They sometimes don't like to listen to the intuition. Um, and so it becomes harder for intuition to get our attention and really make us pay attention. So sometimes our intuition starts as whispers and it becomes screams, as like the more we ignore it, the more it tries to get our attention. But then eventually it'll stop and be like, okay, you don't want my help. And so it's that much harder to get back to a state of listening and connecting with your intuition when you've been ignoring it for so long. Hope that makes sense to everyone. All right. Well, I don't think we have any other tarot myths to bust. So if you're still in the chat room right now and you would like one card reading, please go ahead and put your question in the chat, and I will pull one card for your question. Whoop, whoop. And if we don't have anyone in here, any takers for readings, we're going to close up and we'll probably hit the 40-minute mark for this particular free workshop on tarot reading myths. And I apologize if there's a little bit of a lag here, because it seems like there's a little bit of a slowdown in the Wi-Fi, I think. I don't know. Let me just double check here. Let me take a look. All right. Amit is asked, can I get a card? Absolutely, you can. Do I have a question to answer? Go ahead and put your question in the chat, and I will be happy to pull a card for you. Actually, let me go ahead and get out my cards. So again, from earlier in the workshop, I do not have this in silk because I don't need to have this in silk. It is just its regular box. because it's beautifully packaged. I really do love this deck too. And look, that's for you guys. Trust your intuition. Okay. Amit is asking for a general love reading. Okay. Well, I'm only pulling one card, Amit, so there's limits to what one card can do. But I'm happy to pull a card for you. So what does the tarot want to tell Amit about love? And if anyone is wondering what question to ask the tarot, just what do I need to know right now is an excellent question to ask the tarot if you don't know what to ask. So Amit's asking about love. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm not going to presume anything about your life or your relationship, Amit, but it does feel as if things have been a little bit chaotic. These are very reflective, so I'm sorry that you're seeing like the the selfie light ring there. Let me like move it over here. So this is the Tower card. So the Tower card in a love reading is generally chaotic. It means that shit hits the fan, that things become revealed, or that a situation that you once thought to be stable isn't as stable as you would like, or there's a breakup, there's just a lot of chaos. But the good thing about the Tower card is that anything that was not sustainable no longer lasts, and you can build a better relationship and a more stable relationship from the rubble, I guess, or the foundation. Like it's laid down to its very foundation, and you now know how to build a relationship up better than it was before and more stable, so that what happened to you in the past is not going to happen to you again. That's also a really big message for the Tower, is waiting for the other shoe to drop when you feel like things are just too good to be true, or always waiting for that rug to be pulled out from under you. So the rug is already pulled out from under you, and you're no longer waiting and anxious about that situation because it's already manifested, it's already happened. So now you just have to figure things out. Where do I go from here in the relationship? But honestly, it feels like everything's fallen apart, but it might have fallen apart for a really, really good reason. Like, this kind of card symbolizes to me like maybe being left at the altar, but you don't know how that marriage would have gone if you had gone through with it, or if that person hadn't backed out. Like, you could be divorced by now. So the Tower really does have this like kick in the pants, oh my God, this is so awful to it, but it also has that silver lining of the worst has happened now, and so now I don't have to worry about the worst happening. It already happened, and I'm still standing, I'm still here. So it's a big and powerful card, but you're gonna be so much better off. So hope that helps you, Amit. Hope that resonates with you and you know what to do with that information. Like, it feels it's not an entirely happy card to get, but it's a really good card to get because like now you know where you stand. So I hope that helped. Do we have any other people that like a reading right now? I know that Justina wanted a reading before, but she had also already, I think she said, I just got into tarot reading myself. That was from Justina earlier. Amit says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Amit. I hope it helped you. So Justina said before, okay, I just got into tarot reading myself. So awesome, Justina. I hope that these free workshops will really help you, and look back on them and rewatch them later on, because I always provide replays, um, so that you have a basis or background for tarot reading, like as you just started. Like my biggest thing is I really wish I had the information that I have now when I first started reading tarot. And that kind of is like my life's mission with reading the tarot, is providing that information that I didn't have when I was a beginner. So go back, rewatch the videos, leave any questions, and just say, look, this is for anyone. If you're going back and watching the videos, please feel free to write in replay, and whatever question you have or whatever comment you have, I would really appreciate it. And that way I can answer your questions. If you have any lingering questions from the video that wasn't asked when people were attending live, that would be awesome, because I want to help you. So hopefully Justina is around still. If not, I'm sorry. Sorry you weren't here for the reading portion of the evening. And if you don't have any other questions or any other readings, then I'm going to finish up here and let you all go on with your Friday and get your weekend started if you do have a weekend. I really appreciate the people that are working on the weekends or they don't really have a weekend. If Saturday and Sunday is a day that you work, I get it. I used to be in retail for a number of years. I know that sometimes weekends don't exist, or your weekend is Monday and Tuesday, or a little bit of one day, a little bit of another day. But if you are celebrating the weekend, welcome to the weekend, folks. All right, I don't think there's any other questions or reading requests, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up. I thank you guys so much for being here, either live now or watching the video later. I hope you got something out of this session. Let me go ahead and put my name and my website up again, just to let you guys know, if you weren't able to attend for the reading portion of the evening, I am available for personalized one-on-one readings of the tarot. You and me, sit down, let's read the cards either together, or let me read your cards for you if you want me to read your cards for you, or if you're not interested in learning the tarot. That makes me a little sad, but I'm willing to read the cards for you. www.tarotbyhillary.com, and that is Hillary with one L. That will take you to my website. You can schedule with me. I do email readings, Skype readings, phone readings, and in-person readings. So geography, location is not a factor. You can still get a reading with me as long as our time zones sync up. So again, I am Hillary. I am a professional tarot card reader. I demystify the mystical, and it was my great pleasure to serve you tonight. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend.